Theresa Conroy concerning economic development. Teresa, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
I know you've had a busy few days.
A very busy few days. For the record, my name is Representative Theresa Conroy. I reside at 177 Scopecraft Street. I passed out in your packets aesthetic codes. I've been working closely with the BDC here. When I first took the position, they asked to come to the meetings, and one of the things they asked for was to find out what other towns are doing for aesthetic codes, so that as we're progressing with our master economic development plan, we can make sure that we're not having just things plop all around town, and try to keep it a uniform look to this. So in your packet there is research that was done for me that shows different village zones and districts, and also historic districts. I gave it to the Economic Development Committee. They might also want to think of something out of the box and do something that they feel will be right for Seymour. So I encourage them to do that. Anything I could help them with, I'm more than willing to do it. I also had the DECD down this past summer. Bob was here at the meeting to look over the town. When I first went up to Hartford, I said, you know, can I get some help down here? And they said, well, what do you need? And I said, we need a lot down here in the valley. So she came down. She had reviewed the Master Economic Development Plan, and what we looked at were some of the sites that they had interest in. One of them would be the copper company over here, and the other one that they've really taken hold of is Housatonic Wire. There's a phase 2-3 study going in now, the environmental impact. Housatonic Wire has sent that to the state, and they're reviewing that to see if they'll be eligible for SCRIP funds, which is part of the brownfield remediation money. So we're looking forward to hopefully having a project going up there soon. And I've also told Alex from Housatonic Wire anything I can do to help expedite that. I'm here for that. The second part I wanted to go over, and Bob, you're well aware of this, but you know this is all new to me. I went to a couple of public hearings on Metro North Railroad for the Waterbury branch line. They held 2 of them this past summer, one up in Waterbury and another one down in the Derby City Hall. It was a lot of good information. What they're looking to do is have the study come back in, they say like late winter, but you know, let's figure, or late summer, late fall, but it'll probably be more the winter time. They're looking at how we can expand the rail line for Metro North on the Waterbury branch, and also they're studying the Canaan line. When I went to the hearings, I saw a lot of their bullets out for the 2 different lines, and one of them was for, you know, the Canaan was transit-oriented districts, and the Valley had nothing here, and it's like, wait a minute, we have a lot to offer here. So the next night when I went down to Derby, it was a little bit more vocal that, you know, we are not second-class residents here in the Valley, and we need to make sure that we're getting that voice out there. You know, granted, we're not Fairfield County, we're not making that tax base that's bringing it right in, but you know what, we all deserve the same up here. I think we've been heard down there with DOT. The study is going on, and part of the problem, I'm not sure if everyone's aware, because I've lived in this town all my life, and I wasn't really aware of it, that when a train leaves Bridgeport, it has to go to Waterbury before, and it has to go back to Bridgeport before another train can go out. So all the commuters that want to ride the train are really forced into not taking it because of the delays on the train. So one of the things that we're really looking at is putting sidings on the train line. Another option was to have double rail, but that's pretty much cost prohibitive, and we don't need it. We just need a couple of sidings along so that trains can pull over, go up to, you know, Waterbury and back down, and make it more accessible. Right now, this is phase 1 of the study. I asked what would be the next part, and they said phase 2, and we'll go back to the legislature and ask for money for phase 2. And I'm one of those that likes to get things done, you know, a little bit faster. When I talked to DOT, the project engineer, I asked him how much money he would need from the state, and he said about $2.4 million. And I said, this is great. But I've been doing more research, and this train line's already in use, and federal regulations say that if we're using it, we don't have to do this whole environmental impact study. We probably have to look at places where we want to put the parking lot, you know, in our plans we want to change, you know, maybe the station down. Just look at those areas where the siding might have to be bumped out, and see what that impact is. So I'm hoping that we can hurry up and get, you know, the study going quicker than they're projecting. It's sometimes frustrating for me too. So we've looked at some of the sites. I think we're making headway as best as we can. You know, I get discouraged sometimes when I come into Seymour, and you know, I'm living over on Scopecraft, and I come by, you know, the gas station that's empty, or the Sweets and Eats that doesn't look good and it's all potholed, or you know, we have different entryways into this town that just, it's not a place that you want to come and visit and remind you of your business. So we need to try to change that image, and I'm just here to tell you, I'm here to help you and work with you, anything I can do. I know that we do have the CVS moving up there. We do have, you know, a few other projects going on in town. I've been away on vacation for the past week, and I just got back Sunday night at midnight when running in yesterday to do my work that I had to do. But I'm concerned about Tri-Town, because I asked them about Tri-Town Plaza, and they said they won't help me at all until we have a court case out. Now, is that still on for October 8th?
The court case,
Right.
it was continued to November.
Okay, now why would you just...
My understanding, the reason why it was continued, because the person, the only person that could file an appeal on taxes is a person responsible for the taxes.
Okay.
And it couldn't be proven in court last week that the person who appealed the taxes is the responsible person for the taxes and the spokesman for that property.
Mm-hmm.
So right now we're doing a title search on that property to find out, because we cannot, we have looked all over to see who is legally the owner of that property. We don't know if it's the individual we're dealing with, or if he's just managing the property, or but it couldn't be proven in court that he is, his attorney could not prove by documents that are supposed to be filed in the town clerk's office that he is the one responsible for the taxes. So, in other words, he could not then appeal the taxes. So he's holding it up. We've had many businesses interested in that property over the past 5 years. Many businesses.
Because that's one of the concerns is, you know, most of the residents that say that to me is, you know, what about this empty stores up here? We have, I don't know how many hundreds of square feet up there, and it's right there, it's accessible, but it's just sitting there. And pretty much it's, you know, an eyesore when it's vacant like that for so long. That, you know, anything that I can do on my end to help expedite this Tri-Town Plaza, I'm here to work with you to try to get things done.
John Sues, the chairman of Economic Development, has brought many potential tenants. M&M from Milford was very interested. My understanding, there's actually 4 years ago a contract signed, and at the closing, one individual walked out of the closing, decided did not want to do it. Walmart's was interested in it. Target's was interested before they even built in.
Right.
A lot of people were interested, but he's a private person, and he's the only one that we know of to contact. We had John Criscola work 6 months trying to get something going and sending different ones. Many real estate agents, he changes them as quick as he changes his clothes. So I mean, it isn't from lack of trying on the town's part. And this lawsuit, he's appealing his taxes. He claims his property is worthless. It's not worth anything. So I offered him nothing. He says it's worth nothing. He wants the town of Seymour to give him a $3 million interest-free loan for 5 years. He wants the taxpayers of Seymour just to give him $3 million, and he says he promises he'll have it occupied within a couple of years if we give him the money to do it. He's a private businessman. Theresa, I have no clue. I've stopped dealing with him. I've had other people, John Suits, John Criscola, Nancy, have been trying to deal with them, and we just can't get responses. I mean, you know, you can't force somebody to do it, and you can't take it over by eminent domain, because if you do, you have to put that money in the bank to take it over by eminent domain.
Well, hopefully November.
But two things that he has done. I mean, the claim is that it's unrentable because of the condition of the building. He's had offers, and this is just what I've been told. He's had offers of purchasing all the property to put a superstore up there. They would knock down what's there and rebuild. That offer was declined. He also leases it to Walmart's. Walmart still has stuff stored in Ames building. Walmart's had to put in an all-new sprinkler system in that building. So it's worth something. So all I could say, Therese, you know, anything I could do to help you on that too, on the state side. I mean, if there's money available on the state side, I tried to get money available from the state side on that, and you know, money is very scarce right now. But we've been working for 5 years trying to help him. He's very difficult to work with. He's very, you know, our attorney did not ask that court case to be postponed, be continued to November. It wasn't His ask. He just wanted to know, he wanted to see the documentation of who is legally responsible for the taxes. And it couldn't be proven in court that day. So it was continued until that could be proven. So now we got to expend some money to do a title search and to do other things on that. So that's where that stands at this point.
And just one other thing, you know, we have 4 traffic studies going on in the town.